Welcome back to another episode of Life with Lam. Today I'm joined here with...
My name's Manav Shrivistav. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome. Welcome to the pod. How
Thank
you going? How have you been?
Oh, I've been great. Very, very busy.
Yeah.
Very,
I feel like
very busy.
you're a very busy person, so thank you for taking the time.
No, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
But yeah, how's your year been, you know? Coming to the end.
Yeah?
2021.
Year started rough, eh?
Yeah.
Year started rough, but after that it got, right now I'm just booming.
Yeah.
Yeah, once you get off,
thriving.
I think it was just like a phase where I just needed to learn to grow as a person, I guess. And once I did that, and now I'm just going pretty good.
That's good to hear. And for the listeners out there, tell us a bit about yourself. Who are you?
Ooh.
You know.
Okay, so
What are you about?
what am I about?
What are you about?
So obviously, first of all, I'm Manav. I'm a third year RMIT student. Studying computer science. I've got one more sem to go. Because deferred it. People who defer uni and take a break after high school, I respect you all. Yeah, I did like first 3-4 weeks. I did 6 weeks of first sem, and then I was like, nah, I'm gonna defer.
See ya, I'm out.
I'm out. I'm gonna restart again mid-year. So yeah, so that's what I did. Other than that, work, uni, just life at the moment.
Fair enough. And today we've got you on the pod because, well, by the time this podcast is released, you'll be all wrapped up. But your show,
Sprout.
Tell us how what is it? Because I've got an article you've just sent me through.
Yep.
We've got a description. So Manav is acting in a production. Very impressive. I'm quite proud of you. You know?
Thank you.
I'm sorry I haven't been able to support, been held busy, but I'm
that's
there
life.
in spirit.
That's life.
I'm there in spirit.
That's pretty much life.
Exactly. But the description reads, in an environmentally ravaged Australia of the future, everything is dried up, run out, or fled. As day turns to night, the weatherman broadcasts his poet prophecy across the landscape. Amongst this desolation, 4 people start new beginnings. They grow new roots. They crack through dirt. They bud and sprout. Tell us. That was a very nice caption. I actually really enjoyed that one. That's my first time reading it. But tell us, Manav.
Alright, so Sprout, I guess in simple words, all I can say is that it's about a post-apocalyptic life. Almost as if it's foreshadowing the future of Australia, especially with all climate change and stuff.
Exactly. So it's very relevant.
Very relevant, especially very relevant to the times of COVID, because in that time during COVID, we couldn't really leave house, could we? Breathing outside air was like dangerous. We had to wear masks and stuff. Everyone was in their own little community somewhere. Some needed more help than others. Some were like an outcast. So that's just a life, I guess, we just went through. Hoping, touch wood, gets really, really, hopefully COVID completely goes away. But this Sprout basically foreshadows that future. And like how we mentioned, there's a weatherman basically does the prophets. In that time, there is no technology. The only technology is radio.
What is the setting?
The setting is very outdoorsy. So there is the settings. One is you've got a family man, like 2 people, John and Nicole. Those are like the mid-30s age range. John has to look after the whole community and everything. Nicole in there. There's a pregnant girl. Especially in this time, if plants, animals can barely survive, people can barely survive the outdoor air, how is a baby going to be born?
For sure. So this is all projected in the future?
It is all, almost as if it's a future. You could say that because this was written actually 10 years ago, not that long ago, by Jessica Bellamy. She's a NIDA student from Sydney. When she wrote it 10 years ago, when we first read it, the piece is written so wonderfully. It's just like, it almost looks like that people spent 2-3 years writing this piece. It's every single thing, every single actions, everything that's written is just so beautiful and so, you'll just like melt in. It's like, what is this world? That's how it is.
Awesome. So, by the time this podcast is out, your show will be over, but we're looking forward to more.
Oh, hell yeah. Definitely more.
We're looking forward to more. But tell me, how did you get into acting? Like, what and why acting, I guess?
Why acting? Okay, so in terms of... okay, so me as a person, I'm a very curious kid, like very, very curious kid. I just have questions everywhere. I go out, I seek him. I didn't always wanted to, be the actor and stuff. As a kid, I wanted to pursue like astronauts, army. Sometimes like at one point I even wanted to be a joker for some reason, like a clown. Like I had no idea what it was. It was just like I had so many thoughts. And obviously I kind of stuck through like early high school. I stuck through joining army, the intelligence and stuff, because a lot of physical, a lot of adrenaline, right? Adrenaline. Who doesn't love adrenaline? So from there, but when teachers went down to, I did productions in high school. Obviously, being a curious kid, I did like music. I did productions. I did leadership, volunteering. Okay, I'd study, I guess.
Just an all-around kid.
Just all over kid. Yeah. So whatever I found is like, hey, there's a spot available. Do you want to do it? I'll be like, yes. I would not even think twice, even though I haven't done anything. So I never knew nothing about music until I came to year 7. So from there, my teachers kind of like, my school is the one who kind of pushed me towards this direction. After my teacher finding out my drama, she wasn't actually my teacher. She wasn't actually teaching me, but just a production. When they found out that I was going into acting, army, she kind of got really pissy.
Upset at you.
She got really upset. She had tears in her eyes too. And then she was like, why are you wasting your talent? You should be trying for Hollywood. You can make it. Now, she is an ex-Hollywood artist, so she's a theatre performer.
So there's some weight behind
there is a weight behind,
Damn.
and this was when I was in year 11, obviously. She even complimented, like, back in year 7, my first show was The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. So I was Peter, the eldest son. Yep.
Yes.
But I had the potential, even not knowing anything, I could have been casted as a lion as well, which is a bit more of a heavy fatherly figure role that has a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, me, zero knowledge about acting. How am I supposed to like even get casted? So, she obviously, her being an ex-Hollywood artist, her friends came in as well to watch the show. Aladdin went pretty big around my area, the north side, Broadmeadows, Roxdale Park. It went pretty big. From there, they came in. They liked it as well, and my teacher consulted them, and they even said like, "Yeah,
we like him.
We
like this guy.
He can do it. Please, yes, send him through.
Oh,
now,
that's so cool.
Having brown parents, you gotta going into a field that's very competitive. It's a risk. It's definitely. I mean, it is a risk. It's like you're gonna have to struggle for years, and Asian parents in general.
Yeah,
they want
the expectations, doctor, lawyer, dentist.
Yeah, all that stuff. So
and like not even stereotypical, like it's a thing.
It's literally
like,
a thing.
That is why it's a stereotype.
Yeah. So from there, obviously, how is my parents going to react to this? So then on my last show, that's when my parents came in. My teacher took him out for about 10-15 minutes separately. They had a chat. I don't know what they talked about, but they came out. Mum and dad are like, give us a degree. And then from there, you can pursue acting.
Oh.
So hence why I'm doing computer science as a backup. And then I'm going to pursue acting more seriously.
Nice. Okay, sick. So started a few shows. Just dipped your toes in a few.
Just dipped my
school,
toes. Yeah.
I mean, that's so good that your school like sort of had those opportunities as well.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of schools don't have access to that. So.
100%. My school even provided us, because you know how every school, when they do music classes, you have to pay for music classes and separate.
Yep.
My school was completely free.
Oh, complimentary.
I had the whole music. So I learnt like bass, drums, guitar. I formed my own band from year 7. That stuck to year 12 because I did music as a subject as well.
Yeah.
We were like the go-to band. I forgot what our name was. It was probably 4 years ago. But yeah, we were like the go-to band for all performances. And it just stuck. I just took whatever, because if it's free, it's available. Why not go at it? And I just jumped into it.
So yeah, very opportunistic of you.
Actually, speaking of music, because of that, my teacher Nick Backus from high school, he's a vice principal. He was, I don't know what he is now, but he's a vice principal. He pushed me towards DJing as well in year 9. Now, because of that, I now have my own DJ business. I DJ all across Melbourne, Victoria. And I earn my own money, so that kind of covers my covers my uni fee as well. So I don't have to work as hard, but I still do.
Yeah, awesome. Life. So, and do you have a job on top of that as well, don't you?
Mm-hmm. I'm working full time at the moment as well.
Jeez, this man, actor, DJ, I don't know, like part-time DJ, full-time worker.
I've got recently end of lockdown 5. I was lucky enough to get a online calls online job customer service. Oh, customer service. Anyway, that's a whole new topic. But yeah, I've been working full time, studying full time. I've got my own family business as well, so like grocery stores. When I'm like really busy into it, so I help out whenever I can. Then you've got your DJing, we've got catering business, and then I've got modeling as well. So modeling starts from an agent, and then now acting.
And he's found time to hop on the podcast.
Oh, I could not miss this.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I mean, the elephant in the room. How have you managed to balance everything? How do you go about it? What are your secrets?
Well, my social life has gone down.
I can definitely imagine.
Very down.
Yeah, I think whenever I talk to my guests, it's like always this big circle. It's like your social life, work life, and like just your personal life as well.
Life. So obviously my social life was pretty good. I mean, it's still pretty good at the moment. I'm still able to manage it, but like, it's not like there's time, like when I have a little bit of free time, it's not the time for other people that are going to catch up. Like comes a time, but it's more so a time for me to kind of like relax and recharge.
Yeah, exactly.
So it does take, so I think that is very important. That's what I do. I need to do in order for me to keep going and keep hustling. So it is very difficult to manage everything. Less sleep, less thing. I think I just prioritize things very importantly. Obviously, family comes first. There are family things that you got to help out, look out for. Then what's your income coming in? How are you going to survive? And especially if my goal is acting and studying either overseas or interstate, acting itself is a very expensive profession. Just to even get into it.
Yeah, we might even get into that. Like how agents. We were just talking off air about agents. And modeling as well. Like how have you landed this?
Okay, so with this, let's say acting this one, then I'll get into modeling. So I've been doing acting. I've been acting for past 8 years. So when I was in year 7, 8, 9 years, roughly then. So I did production in high school. So obviously it wasn't as professional, but we had everything there. Yeah, acting was there. We did proper acting. We put on shows for over 1,000 people over a course of weeks and stuff. So it was something. But this Sprout, it's directed by 7th Floor Theatre Hub. There are 2 directors. They're all professional actors. The 2 directors are acting in this show as well. So it is a very intimate kind of production. There's only 9 people in here. You got 5 actors, 2 of them are directors. Then you've got sound, costume, lightings, and a manager to manage everything. 9 people. Only 9 people.
Wow, that is.
And we did the whole thing within 2 months, like roughly about two and a half months kind of thing.
And that speaks volumes already. Like.
Yeah, so it is, and obviously when you're working with professionals, it's like you gotta be on top of your game. I was actually really scared. Is like, how am I even going to manage this time while working everything?
Like, what hours are we looking at as well?
The hours, I think, first 3 weeks, because obviously due to COVID, we only did Zoom lessons. We didn't really do anything, so we learned to line. So we're practicing through Zoom. So there was no one. Director wasn't there to even direct us or the space. We just had to visualize everything and work out to what he's saying. So from there, in high school compared to high school, and this the biggest challenge I would say there would be a difference would be that the learning lines. Doing thing, high school. My
memory is dog shit.
I kid you not. So is mine. In high school, like we would it would be school time. That after school, that's when you study. So during your break, you can like always learn beforehand. You get like half an hour thing. But in this one, it was like you have 3 weeks. You learn the whole script. After that, no script at all.
And that was the expectation.
That was the expectation.
The bar that they set.
Pretty much.
Holy.
When you're working with all of the actors that I'm working with, they're represented by top agents in the thing. I'm not represented. They have training. I don't have anything. I got lucky by land. They reached out like, hey, we would like for you to audition. Even in the auditioning, I actually ended up like sending out my self-tape a day later because I had no one to record the parts with me. I was like, hey, sorry, I couldn't record it because I had no one. Is it okay for me to send it?
Yeah, get like an extension.
Yeah, and then they were like, just send it to us by tonight. So I sent it. I mean, I'm not sure if they're going to read it. They're probably going to read it. But they're also like, listen to it, I guess. Like, you got to learn all the lines before you come back to the first interview. I didn't. I had my script, like, right next to my computer.
Oh, yes, the classic, like...
Yeah, and I'm, like, looking over. I was like, oh, I really thought that I flunked it. Like, I definitely flunked it. I really thought, like, okay, maybe, maybe it's not that. And they had like 50, 60 people auditioning
Wow. That is
for a
awesome.
thing, and only 9 people like kind of gave in. With 2 are directors, so
Yeah,
you've got like
exactly.
7 people.
So only really, 7
Thing.
people. To
And
get
then
in.
somehow I get a call. It's like, hey, we would like to cast you, but we haven't decided if you're going to be an understudy for someone or a main character. But turns out the actors are understudying different role. So I'm playing the role of Tom, a 16-year-old boy. But on my understudy, which will be on the 25th, I'm playing the weatherman, who's sitting on top and
so
doing
you
the
get
prophet.
a sort of like taste of different characters.
Different characters, and I think the
roles.
main reason the understudy comes in is that because 2 weeks is a long time, 10 shows. If someone does feel sick, especially at a time like this, or there's something that come up, there are actors that can fill in.
Yeah, that's
for someone
good.
else.
And that's like sort of distributing all your eggs,
Pretty much,
which is good.
yeah.
Gotta distribute your eggs. boys and
Definitely,
girls.
definitely.
Otherwise, you lose everything.
Yeah, and now in terms of the agents, now the only agent that I do have at the moment, or that's working towards, is for modeling. I use with all of this stuff, I'll probably talk about Star Now later on.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
there's Star Now. I applied for a competition, Tanya Powell Model Agency. They're number 2 in Melbourne. So they're pretty top. And then
Just second.
yeah,
Yeah.
just there. Their top clientele is Victoria's Secret, so I don't know if I'm going to be in lingerie or what, but hoping not.
I'd love to see that.
Hoping not. No, but there was a competition because for them to act with them, with different agents, like you send out your thing, you send out an inquiry, and if they like your looks, they put you through. But in this, you have to do a course with them. The course goes for normally about 12 weeks. Now, Tanya Powell focuses on like ramp walks, commercials,
Yep.
your ads and all that stuff, and like your normal modeling. Like it doesn't only just focus on commercial. It's like ramp walk as well. You've got this fashion shows all over the world, thing competitions, Miss World, Miss all that stuff. All that thing goes through ramp walks. You need to know how to do ramp walks rather than just your commercial shoots. So that's what Tanya Powell kind of focuses on. So because of that, they're like, so as I was saying, the competition, you enter in, you put a photo, you get a scholarship for the thing. So that's what the competition was, a scholarship for a 12 weeks course.
Yeah, nice.
I entered, obviously I didn't win. But from there, what I did ended up getting is like, they called us, they're like, hey, we really like your look. And like at the moment in the industry, there is a lot of demands for colored people, or just agents that is non-white, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
And from there, they're like, if you finish this course, we'll give you a discount for the course. Then we'll be able to represent you for as long as you would like.
Oh.
And that kind of just opened up. I just couldn't say no. Again,
Yeah, exactly.
I just couldn't say no.
That's awesome. So yeah, in a white-dominated field,
Mm.
like acting, modeling
Yep.
as well. Like, how has your personal experience been?
Okay, so I guess the high school that I went to, Hume Central Secondary College in Broadmeadows, it was pretty diverse. There were a lot of like WOGs, FOBs, a lot of Asians, bit of white. Everything was mixed in.
Yeah.
So because of that, I think everyone was accepted. Like everyone accepted each other. It was pretty diverse. So I was brought up in that community culture kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I didn't have that much of an issue in that sense. But when you do come into acting and modeling, obviously high school acting and stuff is different. I actually got pretty lucky because past 3 years, 2019 is the start when the entertainment industry started bringing more Asians or colored people into the industry. People of color into the industry to create diversity.
And you can see that as well with like Shang-Chi.
Yeah,
like
hell yeah.
Simu, big Simu in a Marvel movie.
Yeah, it's
Which
insane.
is crazy.
It is
as the main
insane.
character, and like there's just been accounts where it's like, yeah, I just don't want to be that like Asian person one, on the script.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's right now, like the industry is just booming for diversity, and I got pretty lucky because obviously I graduated 2018.
Yeah.
So from there, if I do enter it, it's like I entered at a good time.
Yeah,
but I did stop because of uni. Sprout kind of came in out of nowhere, That was a very spontaneous thing. I wasn't planning on doing any of this or like even seeking out for agents until I graduated.
So yeah, your plan was to graduate first, then
And
Oh,
but this
okay.
came in and I just couldn't say no.
Couldn't
I was
say
like, and even today's show, there are top agents coming in, Helen Pando, CPM. They're like top acting agents in Melbourne. Hopefully, let's see how it goes once that goes through. And if I can land an agent, then boom.
Yes.
Another
All the best
step
to
to that.
Yeah. No.
Another step.
I just want to know, how was your chat with mum and dad? in regards to Sprout? Like, how did you bring that up to them?
They are very supportive. Only reason that was because like they've seen me succeed because I dance as well.
We didn't have enough there. This guy's resume is just.
So they've seen my dances and like how much success I've had from dance. Like I've been invited to perform in Sydney as well over like thousands of crowds. So I've done that. I've represented Melbourne in those sense. So they've seen like, and even with DJing, like bringing money, there is success in there. Yeah. So because of that, they know that this is my field that I want to go into.
Yeah, I guess they
computer science is the backup. Yeah, as long as I've got something to provide, be the bread and butter, and then I go do something on top. Like, I mean, they might treat, like at the start, they might have seen it as a hobby, but I don't think they realize that it's not a hobby anymore.
Yeah,
it's not.
Yeah, I mean, if you're having so much success and like getting all these invites as well, of course, like. At some point you have to, they're
very supportive, and which is
awesome.
A key factor. I know for a lot of people, like their parents might not be as supportive, and then they have to live outside on their own to go struggle. They struggle even more. So I've been lucky in that sense, but it was I think they wouldn't have been support. I mean, I guess they would have been supportive, but it wouldn't have been this much. They would have been like, you know, your generic doctor, engineer, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for my teacher who talked to them.
Yeah, and I'm sure you reached out to them and just. Let them know how thankful you were as well.
In the teacher, I invited them to the show. They are coming tonight.
Awesome.
I am pumped for them to see how I've grown in this past 4 years, from like 2017, my last show, to 2021.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's awesome. And it's like always good to understand like where you came from as well.
Yeah, 100%. You always need to be grounded. If you don't know where you came from, your roots, because these things like this can really easily get into your head.
Yeah.
Fame, power. It's like money. Oh my God, I'm this, all that. Oh, it's all of that. It really does get into your head. I wouldn't lie that it's like, you know, when I did start getting it, it was like, oh wait, everything's happening quite good. But then I also had to come back to life. I had to find a way to make money, which was working.
Yep.
Provide family, help support family. That is still part of the role while this is happening.
And that's such like a great like personality trait, if we call it that.
Okay,
or way of thinking.
I mean, everyone should have this. Only then you'll be able to see the light that's like on top.
Sure. And like, how do you go about that? Like, do you practice like being mindful or like grateful of things, or are you just like, nah, this is like how I've been raised. This is. Like,
I think it's the way I've been raised.
Yeah.
In my family, I've got a pretty big family. I've been like, family is very important for me. I've been grown up in joint family. From my mum's side and stuff. That side's also there. They're also like joint, but I've been raised up more so on the mum's side.
Yeah.
And from there, like my grandma, she's taught me quite a lot. It's just, and I'm like, my cousins' list is ongoing. They're still upcoming. And in my family, like particularly, like others, like, you know how you treat like first cousins, second cousins? We don't say cousins at all. We generally treat them as your brothers and sisters. Then your family friends become your cousins. Yeah, kind of thing. That we generally treat them. If someone sees it, like even if we look a bit different, they'll be like, "Wait, are you guys cousins or brothers sisters?" That's how close we are. Like we generally treat them as brothers and sisters.
I mean, it's still blood. So
yeah, pretty much.
Sense.
And from there, that's when my grandma, because my grandma's taught quite a lot. My grandma's and my mother's upbringing has really made who I am at the moment. But like another mindset, I guess, like why I'm hustling so much is. I'm 21, right? When I was like turning 19, like 20, like 19, I had this like, the realization is like, shit, I'm not a teenager. I'm like not about to be, like my teenage life is about to end. What am I going to do with my life? My grandma was luckily here. I talked to her. And then that's when she told me, is like, now's the time for you to work like an ass. Donkey. Because now's the time, like everyone has that thing. It's your time to work like an ass. Only then you can see the success in your future. And that really just struck to me. And then because of that, I've kind of like put everything aside and I've focused on how am I going to make the past Manav where I stand to like that top level, getting all that shit done.
Yeah, for
kind
sure.
of thing.
Where are you from?
Oh, Nepal.
Yes, awesome. Let's get into that. Do you think these roots is why you think this way as well? Like,
I think so.
Nepalese culture very similar?
Yeah, definitely. I think just I think Asian cultures itself.
Yeah. I was about to say as well.
Asian culture itself has a lot of like grounded, down to earth kind of like things. Some can be a bit
it's a bit intense.
Yeah, very
domineering, I
intense.
think.
Yeah.
But I see the foundations.
And Loki, I also see the benefits of it in the future.
Yeah.
Because of that foundation, we're able to survive at. We're like dominating the world, like Loki kind of thing.
I mean, China number one.
Yeah. exactly. It's not, and I think it's all because of that harsh foundation.
Upbringing,
Yeah,
sort of,
pretty much.
like that grind.
Yeah, you would call it harsh when you're like living through with it, and like, but when you look back, it's like it was the right thing.
Yeah, it's a
I definitely
sort of thing,
pretty much reflection. And me personally, like, you know how nowadays video games, all that stuff, all that thing. I was lucky enough to. I just missed it. I mean, it was around there, but I just
It's
chose
still,
to
like,
be
our
outside.
era, though. I think it's more my era.
You could say, yeah.
Slash, especially this generation that's coming up.
Yeah.
Like, everyone has an iPad or an iPhone.
Yeah, the Gen Z,
yeah,
Gen Z generation.
literally.
It's that's what I really don't like seeing that. It's gonna change. Like, it's so bad, which is why for some people, like in the future, even if the quarantine does happen, they won't mind it at all because they're just so used to just being with themselves and playing games and all that stuff, communicating through AI. Now you have metaverse coming up and all that stuff. You know, that's a different topic. But like, I was fortunate enough that I spent time outside. Like, I would physical. I would, the sprout, you know. Yeah. I was physical. That's why I'm not like an indoor kid. I don't really play games as well. That's why I can withstand all these jobs and do all this hustle without falling back on like thing. It's because
do you treat it as like a distraction or something, or do you treat them as rewards? Do you ever play games as rewards? What do you do in your like leisure time?
So leisure time, being an actor and all that stuff, I tend to watch more new movies, TV series. My brother is more of a gamer. I do sometimes join him. But if it was a game, I would probably be like a bit more physical sports. Nice. Sports is where it's at.
We like that. Awesome. So you feel like you were at the cusp of like...
Pretty much. I just missed, because my brother is more on indoor side. He got into the game, and I've just like, because we're 2.5 years different. So I just kind of like, I was on that thin line.
Fair enough. So you're Nepalese. Were you born?
Yeah, I was born. So I came here in 2011, September 11th. Oh, yeah, I still remember it.
How old were you?
11 years old.
11 years old, wow. And you had to learn English
here?
Or had you already had previous...
I mean, I did know English from movies, so I'm like a visual learner or like listener. I listen like visually, like I see the thing, I learn it very quickly, which is why I was able to like learn a few instruments or dance moves I can pick up really easily. But I knew a bit of English, but not so much. So I basically picked up, I can adapt like boom. I don't. Hey, you know what? Put me like in any spot. I'll just adapt. I'll just make myself comfy. So I think because of that, I was able to like learn more English.
Yeah, for sure. What kind of tips would you give like any other foreign or
foreigners when they come here?
If people are migrating here and they're trying to learn English, like what tips would you have that worked for you? I guess.
Yeah, one main thing I would say is like obviously when we came around or like earlier, like, you know, racism and all that stuff was going around. People were scared to talk to like English dominated society or members of the society. Right now, I would say just put yourself out there. Do not be scared, because that doesn't, as far as I've seen it or people around us, it doesn't really happen. Like the more you talk, the more you interact. My mum didn't know how to speak English. Everyone said like, oh, how are you going to get a job? Blah, blah, blah. She went out there without knowing little English. Because of her determination, just because she put herself out there, she landed a job as in a cafe, and then as a chef in like the next door, and then with little to no English, she landed a job, and she's been working like that for so long. Okay. So it's just I know it's a very scary thing, but don't be scared. Put yourself out there, reach out to people around you. And nowadays, whenever you do meet people, I'm guessing like people now like a bit more welcoming, and they're like, they help out heaps.
Yeah, sometimes it's sad to see though, like language barriers getting in the way of like people getting jobs, because someone who might speak English like a lot better in like say Australia would land a job over someone who can't, but they might be able to do the job a lot better.
Exactly. It is so sad. Yeah, but there are some stores, some companies, some even big companies like KPMG and stuff, they're like quite inclusive. Quite inclusive of people. Even just with mental health or just language barriers. There are some, now it's starting to pop up. And I think that's because of the diversity culture.
Yeah,
That's
I think
really
so
just
too.
taking over everything.
That's what I've learnt to appreciate over the time. Like, we've become more progressive in that sense, and more
100%.
inclusive.
Mm-mm.
It's no longer like a white.
Yeah,
Nations,
right,
you
yeah.
know? Still, First Nations people need to be recognised. But
100%. Yeah. It's it's the whole thing. It's like when I say diversity, it just doesn't mean people of color. It also means white people as well.
Yeah,
Like everyone's
exactly.
there. Everyone is at the equal level.
Hmm.
And that's what it is.
Awesome. So you felt that your experience since you moved
Yep.
to now has been quite smooth sailing?
There has been bumps. There's always bumps.
Yeah, always bumps.
There was always bumps.
Do you want to get into those ones?
If I can remember.
I can remember. Well, I mean, they're not obviously it's still significant, but
Yeah.
if you can't
It's-
remember, then it doesn't mean like
Yeah. I think it's just you know how like when you go through life, like you learn those little things, like you learn because of that. Oh, I made a mistake. Because of that mistake, you learn, and it sticks in the back of your head.
Yeah.
It becomes like a nature. It just like happens. Like you have to do it that way because you already learned your mistake. Like you learned from your lesson. You learned your lesson. You just put it in the back of your head.
Yeah, for
I think
sure.
that's the kind of thing that I've learned. I've always been like the outgoing, like. People would see me as an extrovert, but low-key, I'm pretty an introvert as well.
Yeah.
But it's just the way that life is a freaking race. Like it's hard. I've seen the outside world. It's freaking hard to survive if you are not content with yourself. If you don't learn or grow as quickly as possible. The quicker you grow, the better. But that doesn't mean like, hey, drop everything, drop your education. I'm gonna go work in the field. Don't do that. Please focus on your education. Education always comes first. That's where you learn a lot of things. And because of that, I think I've just been able to like I'm very like I persisted through everything, and I was just able to come by.
Yeah, for sure. Look, we've got a couple questions here as well, so I might go through them. Would you find your uni experience more difficult than your high school?
Okay. I know like for high school students, a lot of like when they hear about uni people, they might have just met or think like, oh, uni's so chill, uni's all that, you get so much free time, nothing like high school.
Yeah.
That is somewhat true, but
Only if you make it.
yeah, only if you make it. That is somewhat true, because the main difference, like high school, everything you get spoon fed every single thing. There is a certain timing you have to follow. You know, you're like 9 to 3. 9 to 5 kind of a job, like you've got thing. You only study during that time, and the extra study you do is to reinforce your knowledge for that thing, only to pass your VCE exam or VCAL exams and stuff. But when you come to uni, it's there's more amount of work. Like I don't think you would realize at the start. Like it's actually a lot of work, but the only difference is that there's no one there to spoon feed you, so you have to take initiative in every single thing and work through with it. That being said, there are like a lot of groups that do help you through with it. There are like study groups. There are even social groups, like such as DSA, right?
Yeah.
Our DSA, we help out when people first years come in. I know how scary it can be. Everyone knows how scary it can be. But when you have those social groups and clubs to help you out, they don't only become your mentor just for a professional reason. You become friends with them. You get to know them back then center. You go to events. You study together. You help each other out through life moments as well. And it's just that, because you put yourself out there and you take that initiative to talk to other people, it takes you a long way.
Yeah, fair enough. Say I'm not as confident though. What would you recommend?
If you're not as confident, obviously it can be really overbearing to just even go to uni and sit in class. It definitely can. I've been in that stage. Can't say fully I've been in that stage, but I've definitely felt that stage. I know a lot of people that have been in that stage. The best thing I can do is that when like, especially since uni is harder than high school, the best thing I could recommend is that go to networking events, go meet people, because go to social clubs, their gatherings. If you don't like clubbing, partying, that's completely okay. There are a lot of wholesome ones as well. You know, there's barbecue, there's games night, movie night. Attend to those, or like even when you have your break for an hour, go meet. And when you reach there, either A, there are going to be people from that club or from that community that will come out and reach out and talk to you, or just because you're there.
And yeah, because it is a social club. Like they're not there to like
exactly
laugh at you or anything.
And even if you're like scared, like let's say if you're like scared to unable to talk to them, just take the courage to just go and stand there. Within 5 minutes, someone will come talk to you. And then you will be so comfortable that you'll just blend in with everyone else without having that anxiety or fear at all. I would like to say this about every club, but I know us as DSA really does it. And I think
Manav and I met.
Yeah, because he was the first year and I was like a second year. So that's how he came in as well. We met all the other first years. It's like, you really see it.
Yeah,
you really see it.
sure.
When you get there, the vibe is completely different. I know sometimes the vibe might not match with what you're normally used to and stuff. That's completely okay. But the fact that you put yourself out there is more than enough.
And
then
you're growing as a person. 100%.
And that's the main point. Like, you grow as a person.
Exactly. So, I guess dip your toes.
Yeah, pretty much. Dip your toes. Dip your toes in everything
Be
you can.
opportunistic, like
Everything.
You mentioned in uni that you have to do everything on your own and take initiative, as we've sort of established in not only this podcast but many podcasts as well. I think that's the main takeaway from uni.
Yep.
How do you personally gain your motivation? What motivates you?
To be honest, I'm not that motivated at all.
You're not meant to say that, man.
We're talking about the background, but what personally keeps me motivated is obviously, like I mentioned, like being the eldest in the thing. We don't treat him as like cousins and stuff. Responsibilities. Being an elder, I've always had responsibilities around me that I think that experience just made me grow earlier or quicker than I should have as a child. Because of that, the maturity kind of comes in and stuff. But at the moment, like, I'm sure everyone in their life has that someone they admire or like that work through. For me, I see my mum working her ass off every single fucking day. So because of that, when she's doing that, so like basically when we came in 2011, she went out, she got the job on her own with little to no English. She's been working continuously without any weekends break for 10 years.
Wow.
Which is why now that I was able to come to a spot, I ended up taking a full-time job and she actually quit her chef job. So now she only handles the business. So now she can have a bit of a weekend break. After 10 years. Seeing all that, like, and the only reason, like, we could have worked, right? There are people working at 16-year-old go to Macca's, go do, like, fast food, anything. You go work. They get their experience. You earn your own money, pocket money kind of thing. She didn't let us do that. Not me or my brother. Only so that we can focus on our education and without having any other stress. Now, having someone like that do so much for you, that's just like, you know, family's family. That shows like how family can be or like how family are for a lot of people. And then that's what keeps me going. Because when I reach that stage, mum can have all the holiday she wants. My brother can like relax. My dad can have all the holiday that we want. So I need to be able to reach that stage first where I can set my ground. And that's like literally the only thing playing in my head because of how my grandma said that now's the time to work like an ass. That's just stakes in my head. I work, I hustle every single thing every day. I barely have a chance to breathe. That's how bad it is. I sometimes don't even go home because I have to, like, the very next day I have something on, so I just crash at mate's place. Keep going. So when I reach that stage, everyone who's connected to me, who've supported me through this difficult time, especially when I can't even reply to messages, right? You've seen it yourself.
Yeah.
Even a thing. It's like messages come in. Even if I get a notification, I'm like, okay, I'm going to reply. But it gets too late. I was like, I'll reply later. It just follows on. Yeah. I'm sure everyone can relate to this.
Yeah.
And people that are like, there are some people, you know, who do get upset. I'm like, that's completely understandable. There are some people who really understand. Like, hey, this is that.
I think that's like a lesson in itself as well. Like, some people have lives as well. It's not like they hate you. They don't have an agenda against you. Like, they just have something to do, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And this is where I tell them, like, hey, like, I would 100%, who doesn't want to love to catch up with, like, their friends and stuff, family? I normally say, like, look, texting myself is hard. Like, my phone would be buzzing, but, like, I'm unable to, like, physically get to my phone and text anyone. Or when I'm on my phone, it's for, like, business related, because of business as well. So in that sense, whenever someone does, like, try to contact, I always tend to either work out a time to call them or meet up in person for coffee or something or food. And that way, you get like everything that you missed. It's a lot more intimate. You learn a lot. I tend to like talk more when it comes to calls and like open up more when it comes to meeting face to face rather than text. Unless if it's like something important, like we got to get something done. If it's business related, like you got to get shit done. Yeah. So that's when the text comes in.
Yeah.
So I think it's just life. And because of that, like hustling. Once that happens, then I can provide. So that's my mindset right now.
No,
literally.
That's an awesome mentality. And I think like a lot of people should adopt that as well. like very grateful for parents and like being able to provide for
Yeah.
family. Like I think it goes so underrated a lot of the time, especially when we get a lot older. And yeah, it's so good to see that you've kept that value in your head and it's like stuck up there as a prime motivator as well.
100%. And I know for some people, they don't have family as supportive, or they're unfortunate to have that family support. But despite saying that, please look around you. You've got friends. You've got someone around you supporting, and reach out to them. They can, even though it can be overwhelming, just the fact that you know that there's someone there, or they know that because they are there for you, and once they know that like, hey, you appreciate them being there, it doesn't become like a burden or anything. It just becomes like, we're there for each other. Like, this is life.
And that's what friends are for.
100%.
You know,
that is what friends are for. And
even with your busy schedule, you still manage to text me and let me know that you're always there, which is
100%.
Like,
I mean,
crazy.
That's what it is, because we understand how life, especially like COVID time, a lot of people got hit with mental health issues.
Exactly.
A lot,
Very
even including me. So everyone goes through this shit, and the fact that I know that there are some people around me, it's
comforting.
Just very comforting.
It's such a nice feeling as well, and like. Yeah, there are always people out there for you. If you're ever feeling down, reach out, support.
100%.
My DMs are always open.
So is mine. Even though I do apologize if I don't respond. If I don't respond in time, but like, hey, like I'm more than welcome to like even give you my number, and for any time, feel free to call. Despite anything, like I guess I would like to be an advocate for this mental health, because I've seen so many friends, so many people around me, even like me. There needs to be something to done, and I think just people need to understand that like everyone is in the same boat. So please don't be sad or be like, oh, you know, maybe this is shitty of me, or feel shitty about it because you're the only one. You're not. Every single person. You see a person smiling on the road, right? Go up and like give that person a hug, because he's probably going down to like deep shit. So it's just people are around you. Just reach out.
Yeah, that's an awesome message, and people should always keep that in mind. You know,
100%.
there's always help around, so always reach out. Don't be afraid.
Yo,
it's a lot easier said than done, but you know, I feel like it's a very rewarding experience for
both parties. Both parties.
As a listener, like I love listening, and when I have the time as well, listening to people's problems and just like trying to get a solve.
Yeah,
you know, trying to be there and support friends through whatever it may be. If you don't think it's like a hardship yourself, like even sorry, I don't even know. I've lost my.
It's really difficult to talk about these things, isn't it? And like, especially when you're trying to like comfort, and how would you like? That's why you need to be in physical person in order to talk about any kind of thing. Because on text, like.
So, hey, how are you? Yeah, good. How are you? What are you doing?
Yeah, it's like, A, you're like wasting time. Time is money, bro. Time is money. B, things they can interpret in a different way. Not everyone thinks positively all the time. They can have a bad day and they can think negative. It's like, oh, why is he only talking to me and just asks my day and that's it? So what are you trying to do? Like, people can have those mentalities and I don't think some people realize that. So when you are talking about these kind of stuff, or there are something like you miss someone, you care for someone, you want to like let someone know that you're there, just do it. Let them know. And if text is, try to do it face to face, obviously, now that we can.
Yeah.
Or call him. And if that's also so difficult, be like as expressive and as like, just say it through the messages. Just let them know. The moment they know that you're there, everything for that person and even for you, you're just like, it has that really positive vibe.
Yeah, exactly. And as soon as you sort of emit that positive energy, like it does come back. It's
definitely 100%. I've I would like to say Tiffany Vu. I met her through like what's called just MIT love letters. Like lockdown, we needed friends. We were talking to. We just talked and stuff. So even like her boyfriend and like her other friends and stuff, she didn't really have. We just talked. I was like, hey, I know, like really busy, blah blah blah. I talked it out with her. I've like, if I had to count, I've probably seen her like 10 times, not even 10 times. Like we would study together. My messages would be very late, but she's been so accepting. She's been so supportive. She even came out and watched the show. I didn't really expect that. As like person, like I haven't really been as responsive as they would have liked it. But despite them knowing that I'm actually like not busy, like I'm doing all this stuff, and them just being there like made me so comforting, like made me so comfortable. And the fact that she came out, Like she knows,
you
and
just appreciate
I really appreciate. I like even voiced it out to her. It's like I really appreciate you as a person, and this goes out to not just Tiffany, like everyone around me.
I think that's something that people should start doing as well. Just
Yeah,
letting them know that you appreciate them.
yep. I'm not really much of an expressive guy. I never had
Neither.
that. Yeah, like you could tell, like I don't like if someone would even compliment me, I'd be just like that. I even have difficulty saying thanks. It's just I don't know how to respond to it. But like because of this COVID time, like mental health and stuff, you really see the people around you, and it's just like it's really good to be appreciated.
Yeah, exactly.
And like
It's
you
such a
should
nice thing
definitely
to hear.
appreciate. Yeah.
It is such a nice thing to hear. Let's dive back into modeling as well.
Ooh, okay.
If you're a listener,
Yo.
and you are interested in pursuing an acting career or a modeling career, Manav, what tips do we have?
Okay. So with this, remember how I mentioned Star now at the start?
Yes.
So from there, this is how I started. My teacher, obviously, I asked my teacher, I was like, so how do I get into this? So he basically sent me like, yeah, how do I make it? How do I start? Because there's got to be somewhere. And then he sent me like link for Star Now. So starnow.com, basically a platform for people that are interested in this industry, the entertainment industry. That includes your modeling, shoots, acting, the technical side of films or thing, or like photography, your directors. There is even a section for struggling jobs, for strugglers. They're like where you can like promote something, or they just need people on the side to like get something for an hour, and generally pays pretty good in thing. Obviously for Starna you do have to get premium to apply for multiple jobs, and to add multiple photos and stuff. So basically I would recommend go to starnow.com, build up a profile, get premium. In this past a year and a half or nearly 2 years, I've applied over 800 jobs, in which I've only done about 30 to 40. So it is
just only 30 to 40.
Yeah, only 30 to 40 in like the. I mean, the thing
That's like
is,
a lot of.
oh, it's not. I mean,
Is it?
out of 800 jobs that I've applied, 800
enough.
plus, and
You're still working 30 to 40 jobs.
that's over the span of 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Like
fair.
that's a 1 day gig. So out of like
Yeah.
over the span of like what 1 year's like 365 days times that by 2. Over there, I've only done about 30 to 40 days worth of work, and that's not even days. Probably would be a couple of hours for that day.
And is this for like a photo shoot, or is this
This
what
leads
is
from
it?
like modeling to
Yep.
acting gigs. Sometimes like you can even do it for free if you want to build up a portfolio for acting. There are some like VCA students, Swinburne, RMIT film students. They need actors to act in. You do that. There are a lot of things that you do. Obviously there's payments from things as well, but more yourself, you go there, work as an extra, like real people, like on cue talent agent, like talent agencies. You go in and work like on set as an extra background worker for any series or shoots, films. You get that experience. The more experience you get, once you feel like you've got enough experience and you're able to do like the course, then do the courses as well that's around. After that, you go out and look for an agent, because nothing is possible without an agent. Right now, even if I'm doing like a freelancing modeling and stuff, if I get paid like 200, 300 for like a couple of hours, or like 500 up to like a couple of hours, if it was through an agent, I know agent would take in commission, but you would get paid over 1,000, over $1,000.
Wow.
So it there is money, but it's a lot of struggle to get up there. So like 2 years I've been like struggling, just doing side hustle. Sometimes
Grinding.
yeah, I even looked after dogs. I was like a dog sitter just to gain some extra money on the side. I mean, I love dogs, I don't mind it at all, but like I was like, there are a lot of like, at the start you're gonna struggle a lot, but please persevere and you will make it. I haven't made it yet. I kid you not, I haven't made it. There's heaps of things I need to do. I haven't even done any like training. I'm going to be going out overseas, probably like interstate to Perth or like Sydney to study film as well after I finish my degree. So I haven't done any of that. I just got lucky with this sprout and more things that around it, or even with modeling. But even the modeling was through Star Now. The acting was through Star Now. So there's definitely opportunities there. So I would say start with that and persevere. Do not give up.
Fair enough. Oh my gosh, that's a lot to unpack.
There is a lot. This whole industry is a lot, which is why like sometimes when I say that I'm busy, I'm genuinely
You're genuinely busy. Yeah, exactly.
and yeah, so it gets really
Yeah, for sure.
it's rough. It's definitely rough, but don't give up. And especially when you have friends and families around you, having that support, like having that people that understand is like, hey, you're hustling and stuff. some people even admire that, and they tend to do the same thing, following your footstep. So hey, you've inspired someone else. So why not?
Win-win.
Mm-mm.
And onto modeling. Like modeling, we talk about what, 6-packs, being tall, good looking, having big bulging biceps,
Yup.
and like the ideal physique or whatever.
Yup.
How are you finding it?
Obviously I don't have any of those.
You got the good looks. What do you mean?
No, you're just flirting on live air. Well, meet me after the show, huh? No. With this, obviously there is that like the social stigma that's gone around for modeling, for girls having like zero waist and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like the hourglass. Like,
it's insane. And obviously in previous it's been really insane, but now I don't think that is a priority at the moment. There are like in the industry there are like different types of shoots. Obviously, if you want to do like a swimwear kind of suit, then you wanna look good. You wanna look good that you can, even if you're like got a bit of a belly and you're confident in it, and agents like your look. I mean, the clients like your look. You'll do it. There is always hope for thing. You don't always have to have 6-packs. Just having that gives you that extra confidence so that you can do swimwear shots. Otherwise, you've still got your commercial shots where like you're wearing full clothes. You've got ramp walks, that's different modeling. You just model for like boutique or like different designers. You work with designers. You work with designers and like you just model for them because you put on their clothes. You just pose. They put it up on the website and you get paid for that. So modeling is that, like, even if you've like modeled for your school and your school's using your photo all around, you're a model. The model generally doesn't mean is like, oh, you need to be Asian, you need to earn this much, you got to do good looking. Obviously, everything, your regular face wash and all that stuff, that's just general stuff. But anyone can be a model at this stage, especially with all the diversity. You've got your oversized models, you've got like,
that has been
it has been a
very prevalent thing, especially with like things like Gymshark and stuff. Like, a lot of their models are plus size now.
Plus size and height. Like, obviously, height is like top agencies. Now, top agents, they do require 5'11", 6 foot kind of height for a thing. Those are the top agents that we're talking about that are competing like all the world kind of thing.
If you round up, I'm actually 6 foot.
If you just round it up, we use general maths. But
you round up when you get past 5, right?
Pretty much. If you're like 5'11.5, you're 6 foot. Simple. So from there, it's like nowadays, even like short people, it's not a thing. Height, age, color, skin tone, like your culture, background, that does not matter anymore. The industry is becoming so diverse. It's only been 3 years and we've seen a lot of growth. It's going to continue growing. And later on, who knows? You're like, maybe your Miss World would be a plus size.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how I think
it's a possibility.
It's such a subjective, like objective, you're objectifying a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it's like creating sometimes unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing that these, and like as someone in the industry, you're seeing that like this diversity is starting to climb and pick up the pace as well.
100%.
We met at DSA.
Oh, this was like last year?
Yeah.
Last year.
Is it last
Wait,
year?
no, it was this year. It was this year. Holy shit.
It's been a long year, man.
Look, it doesn't even feel like it's been like we've only known each other for like less than a year.
No,
it's just like the vibe we get from like once you meet, once you like reach out. I generally thought it was last year.
I know, literally.
I was like, holy shit.
Crazy. How have you found DSA? You know?
I found it, just meeting new people has been very interesting.
He's the HR man. Manager or director?
Director.
Wait. I demoted him. That's so awkward.
No. It's not. See, HR is a role that, we're only there to support everyone else, but like, we're there with everyone else. Everyone is on the same thing.
Yeah.
We just have that role just to like have that little extra responsibility. That's all. But I've been, DSA is a vibe, I would say. Obviously, there are like MCCC, RA. I was with MCCC at the start as well.
Oh, okay.
As a Jaffe rep. I just had a lot of things. Obviously, me being busy. I did go through, but I was like, it's not worth it for me. Like, if there's someone else who's more suitable, let them have it. That's why 2020, I wasn't in any committee as well. Then 2020, I'm sure Andrew probably talked about the DSA, how it started with the group chats, and then going into the club. So I just got randomly added to a group chat from like a mutual friend, and the vibe was so immaculate. It was just like, wow. All right, and they all vibed with me as well. And then when there was a time came out to apply for positions, they reached out like, hey, apply. I actually applied for like flunk. I was like, oh yeah, like, you know what, doesn't
Flunk.
I mean, like, I flunked the whole application kind of thing. Like, I wasn't.
Oh, his interview was not as good.
Yeah, it wasn't. But like, I mean, I had no intentions, like, because obviously me being busy, how am I supposed to give time to to a club that's literally growing from the roots? I didn't have
Sprout.
that. Yeah, Sprout. Sprout.
Out now. Featuring Manav.
8:30 to 9:30 p.m. No, so from there, it's like I didn't have time. Like I didn't really think that I would be able to even handle anything. But somehow, like, the vibe was so much. Like, the vibe itself was so good that it made me even want to, like, okay, I actually put my application through. Otherwise, like, I could have done the same thing as, like, not apply, just focus on my own thing. But
yeah, exactly.
the vibe was so that I didn't want it to miss out on it. I just put my application through it, see how it goes. And then with them, obviously, I did tell them, like, I've got so much shit going on. I can't commit. They were very understanding of it. They were very, even though with my experience, they were like, they even question like, oh, why aren't you like applying for execs or whatever? I'm like, I have so much time.
I mean, look at my calendar.
Like, I have so much time. Like, despite that, I really want to like help you and help you guys grow. So whatever knowledge I have, I'm more than happy to jump in and help you guys. And that's when, like, you know, the role of a Jaffe manager came in when you guys first came in. And then I was helping Angela, the Jaffe manager, and I was just using my expertise, whatever I knew. I wasn't really doing anything, was I? I was just like...
you did a good job. I liked it. You were like the glue of the group too.
I mean, I was just helping everyone, like, you know, because obviously, especially in COVID time, how the heck are you supposed to, like, go into a social club and socialize without even meeting each other?
Literally.
It was a painful year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it
but
was quite rough.
It got through. And because of DSA, the execs that played through. And now here you are. You're the Jaffe director now, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been in that, and it's I'm sure you can probably say the same thing. It's definitely because of the vibe, despite like how difficult it was. You were very understanding that we aren't able to do events, we aren't able to meet as much, or the promises that we thought we could, like even going out to retreats and stuff. It wasn't able to do that because everyone's in the same boat because of COVID.
Exactly.
So
look, it was a rough year, but happy to have you on board next year.
Oh, hell yeah. We're happy to have you on board. Jaffe director. Hey, so Prez for 2023?
Oh, God.
We'll leave that for another chat, another day.
Behind closed doors, we'll talk about that one. So in 2 to 3 years, we should be seeing you in future theatre performances, I guess, or movies or TV series. Is that the vibe we're getting?
I hope so.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm aiming for, actually. Yeah, no, definitely. We'll see. And then I get to say, like, oh, my first ever podcast was with Life With Lam. Oh! I'll be like, you know, it's Life With Lam. He reached out. And because obviously, you know, there were going to be a lot of interviews. And I did do like a radio interview as well. They reached out. And similarly how we're doing it, but this one's face-to-face. That one was a radio and an article. So that's different. But if I was to podcast, I'll be looking at, like, I remember this moment as I've got Jenny sitting right here, Life With Lam, asking me questions with Sprouts. Oh, this is the vibe. This
place is going. This man is going places. I can definitely see it.
I see you growing, my guy. I see. You better be having your own show. I hope you're thinking about that. I hope you're thinking about that. To telecast.
Still learning. It's okay.
Hi.
What do you have to say for the listeners as we tee off this
As
episode?
we tee off. Oh, I mean, if you're not listening to Life With Lam, then there's something seriously wrong with your life. You're missing out, I'm telling you. Even while I'm so busy, I chuck on the headphones in the car. I listen to his podcast. I listen to other people interview and all that stuff. And you generally get to learn a lot. Like, the people that you invite or people that do come in, they have a lot to give it to the audiences, the listeners. They should learn. They should take in different things. It's just insane.
I think the main goal for this is just perspective.
Yeah, and I think you've done it like so wonderfully. It's so beautiful, which is why I was like, I cannot miss a chance. But it's an honor to come to like Life With Lam.
It's an honor to have you on the podcast.
God, no, but it's insane. In terms of thing, obviously, by the time this podcast comes out, Sprout will be done, so there's no more advertising for Sprout.
What do we have to look forward to? Do we know?
After
TBA.
After Sprout, I think fingers crossed, get through an agent for acting, because modeling agent's done. Now, if I can get through an acting agent, then that's something
That's
worth
on the bucket list.
That's something definitely worth looking into. Otherwise, stay tuned. As soon as I finish my degree mid next year, there's going to be hell a lot of shows. Even though theatre's not my field to go into, but doing theatre on the side is not bad at all. So there'll be more coming in.
No, all the best.
Let's see.
Thank you so much for hopping on the podcast.
Oh, well, thank you.
No, thank you.
Here we are with Life with Lam.
Here we are with Manav, up and coming future Nepalese star.
I
I like the sound of that one. Be sure to follow at Life With Lam podcast on Instagram. You want to leave your socials here, or should I leave them in the description?
Oh, you should leave them in the description, but if you just search up Manav_Everest, that you'll find my Insta. DJ Everest is my Nepalese DJ name, so
that is
there you
fire.
go.
Thank you so much, Manav.
Well,
It's been a
nice.
pleasure.
Mine too. You have a good day. You guys have a good day. Oh, God.
Just destroyed the mic. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.